All right, we are live. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to our live broadcast with our roundtable discussion with Butler Square Consulting. So I'm Donald Butler, the CEO of Butler Square Consulting, and we provide accounting, tax preparation, as well as business consulting and other services to our clients. And one thing that's important about what we do is we provide these services, but one thing for sure, we do tax strategies and helping our clients save a lot of money in their taxes. And so the thing is about what we do is we use QuickBooks and we have a great team. So this is a team effort. So I'm not here by myself, but this is going to be an exciting roundtable discussion. And this is the first out of many. We're planning on doing this every other week, as many of you already saw the announcement. And so the next one is going to be another powerful event. So I definitely welcome all of you. And before I really get started, let me just share this. Why are we doing this? Because one reason why we want to connect with our clients. We want to connect with you even more. So feel free to drop any comments in the chat if you like. But we want to connect with our clients even more and sharing some detailed information. We want to walk through this process with you to make sure you understand real information, real knowledge, and get it from the team that's already supporting you. And also helping encourage you to communicate with us. Anything that changed throughout the year, anything that we should be aware of, different things that may come about. We want to make sure we support you. And I'm going to bring on our first member of our team, and I'm going to add her to the live stream. Many of you all know her. And so welcome, Joy.
Hey everyone, it is great to be here today, and I'm excited. As you all may know, my name is Joy White. I'm the executive assistant for Donald Butler and Butler Squared. I've been with the firm for over a year. I have a degree in communications. I'm also a well trained actress. I've hosted events such as the client appreciation event that we had, and I'm pretty sure you all might know me from there. I also, what I enjoy most about working for Butler Squared is that it feels like family. We know that we want you all to know that we are there for you and that we're here to support you. And who supports you more like family? So I really enjoy working with the team, and it's a pleasure to meet you all. For some of you all, it's new. So hey, I'm Joy. Nice to meet you.
Listen, Joy, you're like the first voices they talk to. They're like, "Oh, that's Joy right there." And it's funny, Joy. Somebody called my personal number, and I said, "Wait, how'd you find me?" And so I was thinking that they saw that they may have talked to you first, and
Mhm.
they just found out my number, and I said, "Okay, well, cool, I got you now." But next time you may talk to Joy, just so you know.
Exactly. They try to bypass. And I'm like, hey, it's me over here.
Exactly. But listen, Joey, I really appreciate all that you do. And I know the clients enjoy working with you as well. So this has been a great relationship working with you. So thank you so much for all that you do to take care of our clients. A lot of times, people are looking for perfection, but I would say we're looking for, to make sure things are done with excellence and greatness. And the thing is, even if there's something wrong, we all try to work to fix it, right?
Exactly.
The world is not perfect, but one thing for sure is, are they going to help make it right? That is what our goal is, to help make it right. And Joy is a great team member to do that with. So thank you again, Joy. I'm going to continue to bring somebody else on. So hang on, Joy, while I bring Naisha onto the screen. Welcome, Naisha, one of our accountants.
Hello, everyone. My name is Naisha Skinner. I've been with Butler Square for almost over a year now. I am
Wow.
an accountant. I graduated from Morgan State University
Wait,
with
wait,
an
wait.
accounting.
Pause there.
Oh,
Morgan State University. There's a lot of people that are graduates. That a lot of people that know me, for example, graduated from Morgan State. I went to Morgan State myself. So congratulations that you graduated from Morgan State University.
thank you. With I graduated with a bachelor's in accounting. And the best part I like about working at Butler Squared is that whenever you need help, you can reach out to Donald or anyone on the team and they'll get back with you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Naisha, for all you do. So for many of our clients, they want to know the role that you play. So a lot of times what happens is Naisha is working in the background, but she's like the one point of contact that will reach out to our clients to inquire about transactions that perhaps we didn't know about. I'll give you an example. Naisha, would you like to share an example of something that you looked at? You're like, what was this? And you had to reach out to the client to ask what that was.
For an example, I upload the monthly sales report. So when you guys have
Financial
uncategorized,
report, actually, we'll correct that.
okay,
That's the financial report.
financial report, sorry,
Yeah.
financial report. And when you guys have uncategorized transactions, I just reach out to you, show you the transaction, and hopefully when you guys get back to me, we can just update it in QuickBooks.
Absolutely. So, like for example, there could be a cash withdrawal, and sometimes people take cash out, right? And we don't know what the cash was that what was the purpose of that cash being taken out of the account. Maybe it was take care of a bill, or maybe it was just used to go out to eat or something like that. So a lot of times we just want to make sure if we see cash being taken out that we come back to our clients to make sure we understand what that was, because it's so important that what we do is to help prepare you for tax season, right? So we essentially helping you to strategize and make sure that you're ready for tax season. And that's one key thing. So we don't want to rush and get your taxes done because you won't get all the deductions that you really need or that you qualify for. But when we go back and make sure that we calculate this or that we account for this transaction, that helps us to support you from even a tax perspective. So thank you so much, Naisha, for all that you do with Butler Square Consulting. And now the clients know who you are as you reach out to them. Now I'm going to bring Cameron on the line. So Cameron, welcome. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining this particular roundtable discussion. Tell us about yourself.
All right. Well, hello, everyone. My name is Cameron Scott. I've been here for a little bit over 2 years. I started out as an intern, like beginning of 2020, right before the pandemic started. So I'm glad I was able to be part of this before the world changed. And
Right.
during those 2 years, I was able to get certification in QuickBooks and also to obtain my life and health insurance license, which is great, especially fresh out of high school. Um, and then also, what I like most about this is that the environment is very warm and comfortable because usually, sometimes there's a lot of work to do, and sometimes working under pressure can be stressful. But with this whole environment, I'm able to, relax, and then with whatever work I'm assigned to do, I'm more than happy to do it, especially if it needs to be done within a certain time period because, I'm comfortable and, if I need help, I'll be able to ask anyone basically in the team to help me with it. And that's what I like most about this. So I'm glad.
Wow. Thank you, Cameron. Cameron, listen, you've been with us since you graduated from high school, like you mentioned, as an intern, and that is worth noting. And that's it's been since 2020, like you said. This is now over 2 years officially. So, I mean, congratulations! You've been with us over 2 years.
Thank you.
But you've accomplished so much, and one thing for sure, to reiterate what you said, I mean, if I need Cameron to get something done, like we just brought on a new client and there's a ton of transactions to categorize or to review for the whole year of 2021, Cameron gets it done. I mean, literally, I'm like, Cameron, did you finish that? And she's like, yeah, I've done that. So now I go in and put my hat on to oversee it, to look at it, to look at the details and everything. But thank you so much, Cameron, for all that you do to support our clients, to support us, and to make things flow even better. So thank you so much for all that you do.
Thank you.
Now I'm gonna bring Rachel on. Rachel, you've been with us since day one.
Yes. Hello, everybody.
So
Well,
tell us about yourself.
my name is Rachel Brown. I'm an accountant. I'm a tax professional and also professional saxophonist. I've actually been with Butler Square with the firm since its inception, which is remarkable. There's nothing like being a part of a startup and seeing it, progress from the ground up. Donna and I have known each other and been friends for well over 20 years. And it's great camaraderie, working with someone that the genuine aspect of them as a person, their character. There's a strong background there, and I'm just glad to be part of the team. In terms of degrees, I have 3 degrees. I am a graduate of UMGC, so Donna and I share that together as well as our alma mater. I am an MBA, and I'm also a QuickBooks Certified Pro Advisor. What I like most about working with Butler Squared is the collaboration and how we work as a team to ensure that our clients are not only put first, but they are like family to us. So I like the camaraderie, and I just love working and being able to work virtually, but we also can feel like a family and very close. So I'm just glad to be part of the team.
Awesome. And Rachel, like I said, you've been with us since the beginning, and very, which is unusual for many people to have a startup and then have people that's ready to work. And you're like, I didn't even bring in any money yet. You sure you want to work with me? So, I mean, this has been an amazing journey with you as well, Rachel. So we thank you for all that you do to support our clients. And but one memorable moment with you, I would say, is the fact that when we started out 2019, we were at an event, and we had a vendor table that we set up, and you were there. You were ready to go, just like the rest of us. So thank you so much for being there from the beginning.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
Now, some of the accounts that you work on, Rachel, we'll get into some more details later, but some of the accounts that you work on has some unique features about them. Like some of the clients that we work with, some unique features. And to kind of put you on the spot a little bit, one of the unique features that I know we have to get clarity from our clients a lot of times is like when they're transferring from one account to another account. Tell us a little bit about that. Like what you think about that. Like we got to go back to the client, right, to find out more information of, like what was this transfer? What were you doing here, right?
Yes, there is a bit complexity with that because, when you're transferring money, you have to ensure that you're not bringing it in from an external account, bank account,
Mhm.
what have you, or whether or not you're transferring it internally from, one account that's actually in the business, like with a partnership, for example, where you're transferring it from one partner to another partner. So you have to make sure that you are allocating the funds correctly to ensure that you're not taxed incorrectly, because you
Yeah.
don't want to say that you are transferring funds that are actually coming internally from basically within the firm or the organization, and then you transfer it over to another account, and then you're taxed for that, and it's actually your money. So the online transfers can be complex, but with training and accuracy, we ensure that our clients are not basically double charging themselves. So
Yeah,
that's important.
absolutely. That's a good point, because you make a really good point, because if that money came from their pockets or just transferred from one account to another, if like basically that would be inflation of income. That would be called inflation. We're inflating their revenue, and that will cause them to be taxed more money. And we don't want to cause you to be taxed more money when that really came from one of your inside accounts and it wasn't an outside uh, payment for services or a product. So Rachel, you hit it right on the spot when you said that, and that's one of the things that we look at when we are categorizing transactions, because sometimes people may wonder, what does the bookkeepers do in the background, or what do the accountants do in the background? This is some of the things that we are focused on, which helps provide our clients with this level of service to allow them to make sure that they're strategizing their taxes appropriately and reporting things properly, because you just never know. If the IRS asks us, they could ask us for our supporting documentation. They could ask us for your profit and loss report and your balance sheet. These are things that the IRS could ask for, or even the state could ask for this information. So we got to make sure that things are in proper order, that they're categorized properly, and that we're reporting your financials, accurately. So that's very key. Thank you so much, Rachel. And I'm going to bring on our other team member, Melson. He is the CEO of Goshen Consulting. Melson, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hello there, Donald. Hello to everyone. Hello there out there in YouTube land and online land. Yes, my name is Mel Tooks. I'm one of the business specialists here at Butler Square Consulting. I've actually been here since the inception of Donald's wonderful company. I'm one of the primary business specialists with the nonprofit 501c3 filings with the IRS, audits, a little bit accounting here and there. tax specialist as well, and I assist in that area as needed as the team needs. I have a bachelor's degree in accounting and finance, and I've been actually an alumni of Lincoln University. For those of you, that is the first and only HBCU in the country. So yeah, the number one, very notable graduates there. But yeah, I've actually been on board with Butler Squared Consulting since the inception, and it has actually been great. I actually own my own company. I'm actually contracted with Butler Squared Consulting. So I like the fact that as everyone else said, this is a family atmosphere here at Butler Squared Consulting, and I like the fact that although Mr. Butler and I are in the same industry, we're not stepping on each other's toes. And I think that is a very good thing. We've learned how to collaborate and leverage each one of our skill sets. So he knew that I had the experience with 501c3. For those of you looking to start nonprofits, you'll likely be talking to me. So also with the Minority Business Enterprise certification with the state of Maryland. So for those who are looking for the MBE status or MBE certification, I also assist with that as well. So it's good to leverage those skill sets, and everybody collectively works together to help the team win. Mm-hmm.
You know what's surprising about this, Malson? I'm gonna put us both on the spot.
Mm-hmm.
We took out an hour of our time today to actually have this live meeting, and we talk amongst ourselves as a team. But Joy can tell you how busy we typically are. Day by day, how busy we are. But I could not do it without this team, without each one of us working together. Everybody play a significant role. So Donald Butler is just the face. Donald Butler is the one that you talk to, like, when you are meeting with, someone, it's like you're meeting with me. But if it wasn't for Melson, if it wasn't for Cameron, Rachel, and Naisha, and even Joy assisting me, we would not even have Butler Square Consulting, technically. I'll be crashing under a bridge somewhere. Like, I can't do this by myself. So I definitely appreciate each one of you. So what I'm going to do is, though, I'm going to highlight specifically some specific areas. I'm going to get into some more details. And but Joy's going to be backstage. She's going to be monitoring the chat. And then at times I'm going to bring on each one of the accountants from Cameron to Naisha and Rachel to have different discussions with them. But hang on, and thank you all so much for introducing yourselves. But this is the Butler Square team, so thank you all so much. And we're going to get into some more information here. So if you have any questions specifically, please feel free to share it. Even a team, if you all want me to share something, if you want to highlight something, let me know. But I would say this, that Butler Square Consulting, we have been a really tight-knit team where we are helping each other to make sure we leverage each other's background and experiences. And that's where we get, the experience from each one of us, and including Melson. So some of you have reached out and said, well, I want to become, like you said, Melson, MBE certification. I want that MBE certification because I see that there's great opportunities in having that. And that's something that we provide our clients with. But Melson is very key with that. Melson, give us a little bit more of a high-level flavor of what that looks like for our clients.
As far as the MBE is concerned.
Yeah, like a little bit like what that involves, what that entails.
Oh, yes. It's a special certification that is afforded to minority-owned businesses. So it gives you a little bit more visibility when it comes to competing for different types of contracts at the municipal or city level, state, or the federal level. So a lot of times with that designation, that kind of allows you to toss your hat in the ring. So in the event that some contract opportunities come available at those levels, you would likely get first preference or priority in that regard. So in a lot of cases, for a small minority-owned business, one government contract can literally change the game. So it's a good certification to have.
Absolutely. Now, tell us a little bit more about the benefits of it. Like, say, like someone wants that certification. What do they see that could happen as a result of receiving that certification?
Well, no, as a result of receiving the certification, it gives you the opportunity to compete. It also gives you the opportunity to increase revenue significantly because of the fact that what you would have otherwise had the opportunity to compete for as far as government contracts are concerned, You now are, you have access to a wider network, a wider database. You can actually become initially a subcontractor to a larger contractor that has a large contract. So it kind of helps you to really helps to prime the pump, if you will, get your foot in that door, and eventually the door will open up all the way, and you can become a prime contractor as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's very key. And I know from, your experience, my experience, having a, ton of years of auditing and working with contracts, we see the value in helping our clients achieve those certifications or get that certification. And there's so many benefits. Like, for example, if you provide a service that the government needs, they'll pay you for it. And a lot of times they're looking for that certification. So Mel is like the expert with helping people to get this. One thing that's important, Mel, and maybe you can shed some light on it, is that whenever people have a business, sometimes it's hard to find somebody to outsource the services to. And she said Girlology, she said she thinks she missed the name of the certification. Tell us that certification again, Mel.
It's called the Minority Business Enterprise, MBE.
We can type that in the chat for us. But yeah, so that's what that is. But when it comes down to trying to figure out how to build revenue, sometimes people are looking for capital first, and that's fine. We should want to get capital. We're going to talk about that too. That's going to be a great discussion in one of our roundtable discussions. But building capital is so important for any business. But the other thing is, how can I get on some contracts, for example? And these can be very award-winning contracts that perhaps could add a lot more money into your pocket as a contractor. So so that's something important. Now, we provide that service because sometimes people are trying to figure out, okay, you guys do accounting, you do taxes, but what else do you do? And that's the beauty in this relationship. So with Mel, you provide us with the opportunity to really allow our clients to take advantage of these different services. And we have other business partners that we're going to bring on board as well that we're going to talk to. But without these partnerships, and I was getting to the fact that sometimes being as a business owner, you're trying to do everything yourself. And it's very challenging to do everything yourself. You're trying to do the marketing. You're trying to do, the business development. You're trying to do the sales. There's so much that goes on behind the scenes in any business. And one thing that's important, I don't care what book you read, who you listen to, every business should have the focus of being the next Amazon, of being the next Home Depot, or being the next, whatever his name is. What's his name of Apple? That guy. You know what I'm talking about.
Cook.
Yeah. Well, yeah, who's in it now? I don't know his name. But Cook. Yeah, you need to have I think his name's Tim Cook. But you need to have this mindset. And so, Mel, just from the standpoint of being an auditor, you can share like some of the things you've seen in bigger companies, like being in a VA or other opportunities you worked in, like some of the challenges you've seen or that business model that you've seen. It's like we've seen that. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely, Donald. Yeah, one thing I neglected to mention in the introduction was that I worked as a contract auditor with the Department of Defense and with the Veterans Affairs Office of Inspector General for almost 20 years. So the thing is that I have a significant amount of audit experience, and I've seen countless instances where even with some of these larger companies, the records weren't in order, they didn't have supporting documentation, or just things were not in order. So the thing is that I find even now owning my own business and also assisting with you, we always trade stories how like, wow, these folks don't have these documents. The IRS is going to come after them. So we've seen it in practice, or we've seen it in our vocations with working in auditing that a lot of times it's just a lot of gaps that are present. So the thing is that that's where we kind of come in with Butler Squared to help clients fill in those gaps, helping you to stay compliant. If you have contracts, helping you to do your due diligence to stay compliant with the rules and regulations of either the state or the federal government. With taxes, most certainly making sure that every item on those returns is supported by something, not just fudging numbers. So the thing is that, that's one of the things we pride ourselves on.
You know what's interesting? What I got from it, Mel, and
Yeah.
this is the fun part of this conversation, and that really IRS is your internal audit department. It's sort of external, external auditors,
Yeah.
but just like your audit department. So if you work for one of these companies, that's what the IRS is. It's like we have an audit department in almost every company that you work for, whether it's in the government or whether it's on a private sector. There is an audit department. There are external auditors. Why? Because we've done it. I've done it,
Yeah.
and so one thing that I've done, and Melson, you can even speak to your experience, helping clients meet the compliance, being in compliance with the IRS. Like I've helped the client achieve results successfully with an IRS audit. They were being audited. And because I put on that auditor's hat, I said, wait a minute, I know what the IRS is asking for here. So I put on my auditor's hat. And even though the IRS said that it was due by, say, like, for example, on January 25th, the client's like, hey, do you have it? I'm like, I'm working on it. If you want them to accept it, we just had to tell them we need an extension. Like, just tell them it's going to take a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Well, we requested an extension. Of course, they had to go with it. I mean, what else could they do? So we submitted a request, and they accepted every expense that my client was writing off, because it takes an auditor's hat or auditor's view to look at your tax file to make sure it's going to pass the IRS audit. They don't just look at receipts. They gave them the receipts, but the receipts were not enough. And the IRS told them, they said, we're not your accountant. So it's very important to understand the purpose and use of an accountant, which is one reason why I said we try to do everything in business, but outsourcing is very key. And so I have to say, let me give a shout out to all of our clients, Butler Square Consulting clients. We really appreciate you all, and we're looking forward to continue to serve you. But you know what? The thing is, you're with the right company, because we're going to make sure that you save a lot of money in taxes. So stick with us on this channel, because we have some great things that we're going to share with you. But Melson, you want to share your experience of being an auditor and how that translates with the IRS?
Oh yeah, it's funny. I'm glad I was snickering as you were talking, because one auditor knows another auditor. You worked in auditing for a number of years. There's just basic fundamental principles with audit. We assess where the risks and things are. We assess exactly how much work may need to be done, the supporting documents that may be necessary in order to reach the conclusion. Can anybody else come behind you and pick up your documents and reach the same conclusion that you reached? Because it is an opinion that we render. But in addition to what you were saying about the IRS, it's funny when I've had clients, or I know we've talked, I've assisted on a couple of things with you where people needed to respond to the IRS by a certain date. Those are all computer generated letters anyway. It's
Mel,
not a human being.
Question here.
Yes. Oh, somebody has a
Rodney
question.
Walters, you see the question on the screen?
Mel, do you assist with making contact with the MBDA? I'm trying to recall who the
MBE
MBDA.
certification.
Oh yes, MBE. Yes. I got confused with the acronym. Yes, absolutely. We will assist with that process, and then we go through a whole kind of kickoff meeting to kind of determine what documents you do have, what documents you're in need of, as well as a few subsequent meetings, about usually 3 to 4 subsequent meetings to give you a chance to gather all your documents, and then we compile it together and get the application submitted for you.
Absolutely. Hey, Tim, what's going on? I see Tim is on as well. Tim. Thank you all so much for joining. Yeah, so it really takes strategy. I'm going to bring Rachel on with us, because Rachel has some really great experience and some knowledge of working with our clients as well. And Rachel, give us a viewpoint of what you see from an accounting standpoint, because you're a recent grad of University of Maryland Global Campus, where I'm happily a professor of. So using your experience learning accounting and then actually working in it now, what does it seem to you like? What do you get from that? Like, do you see the real world coming at you like, wow, this is what I studied in accounting, and how you can relate to that?
Yes, Donald, I would have to agree with that. I really do see the real world basically at hand. When you go into QuickBooks and you see, the accounts, and you categorize the transactions and you try to clear the bank feeds, you see that this is everyday life. This is what we all have. We swipe, We live in a plastic world now. Cash is not as I don't know used. It's not frequently used as much as our cards. So basically, I see that in the bank feeds when I go in to categorize these transactions. Some of them are tricky, as you stated earlier with the online transfers. That's basically the highest level of complexity with that. But overall, it's just basically swiping. You're going in, you're making sure first that as business owners that funds are not being commingled, with personal expenses and professional business expenses. So, that's something we want to make sure that we always, gently let our clients know that you have to keep these expenses separated, because our goal as accountants, as a firm, is to ensure that we do not allow our clients to run into problems with the IRS. We want them to be a friend to us, IRS. So
Absolutely.
that's what I basically see in
Yeah.
that regard.
Wow, that's a good point because sometimes I forget that term commingling, but it's a relevant term. It's something that the IRS does pay attention to when it comes down to how you're using your account. Are you using your bank account? And some people are guilty of it, right? They use their business account for personal purchases. And literally you have to separate the two. Like, take that money out of your business account and use that money in your personal account if you're going to use it for personal reasons. Because you don't want to become guilty of commingling. And that's something that the IRS is aware of, and they look out for that kind of stuff. Rachel, thank you so much for pointing that out. Alberta, my wife, is on. Yes, she's a certified auditor. Thank you so much. Of course, we're a team, and she is really literally, like, she's on an audit right now. So thank you so much for joining us today and being able to step into this particular YouTube channel. But yeah, having support is so important for us. And I'm gonna bring Naisha back on the screen as well. Naisha, now you're a recent graduate as well. How does this, when you get into looking at QuickBooks and client transactions, what's going on, Darnell? Thank you for joining. Great clients here. But when you actually see what you learned at Morgan State University, and now put it into real life and real action, and tell us a little bit about that. Do you see what you've experienced or learned in school is a little like different, or give us what your take is?
And so in school we had prompts. So it's the same but very different. Like
Mm-hmm.
I get nervous at times because it's someone's real account. But I can say I learned more from being hands-on with you during the QuickBooks than I did in school. Like I said, we had prompts. So we did like A, B, C, and then we were done assignment. But now I learned more. I know how to work QuickBooks better. Even with the new test I have now, uploading reports, I didn't know how to do that when I was in school. So I'm just glad to keep learning, and I'm still learning. And yeah.
Absolutely. And the thing is, when I was in school, now I don't want to age myself here. I would age myself, but we were taking so you got to tell me, because I'm a professor for University of Maryland Global Campus, so I know what we teach there. But in your experience at Morgan State in accounting, did you have to do journal entries on paper, or did you actually do it on a computer?
No, we actually did the journal entries on paper.
Wow, so you all learn the old school way too. So learning old school way is so important to understand how to use a system. And I see people who try to account for their transactions manually, meaning like they're actually trying to they say, "Oh, I don't need an accountant right now because I'm doing it all myself. I don't have that much money I'm bringing in or anything like that." But really, to have a system, the IRS knows, and this is something, and I'll share this with this audience. The IRS is well aware that using a system, there is less likely that you're going to have errors. So if you're doing everything by hand, whether you're doing text, because back in the day, they actually had auditors or tax professionals doing things by hand, but there was more likely to have errors when you do it that way. So when we're using QuickBooks, for example, we're using QuickBooks because it is a way of managing your transactions electronically, using a particular software, which is great, versus actually using or doing it by hand. Because again, trying to put together a financial statement by hand, there are mistakes that can happen. Would you agree, Naisha?
Yes.
Of course you would agree. I'm the CEO. No, I'm joking. No, but this is so true though. So that's what we've seen. We made those recommendations, even from an auditor standpoint. We made those recommendations that a big company need to have some sort of software that they're using. Melson, when you, as an
Mhm.
auditor, isn't that something that you would find as well, that that you notice that if they had a system in place, it was better than using or processing things by hand?
Oh, absolutely. Now, that's almost a slogan that I always even use with my own clients too, where I always tell folks your systems will save you at the end of the day. Even if you get behind with bookkeeping or record keeping, if you know, hey, all business expenses are bought with the business checking account. I only move money out of my business checking account to my personal account when I'm paying a salary or depending on my business structure, a salary or taking a owner's or withdrawal if you're LLC, something along those lines. So as long as you know that, all right, every time I get a receipt and I buy something, I take a picture of it with my phone and store it on my cloud. Just have a
Right.
system or a standard in place. It will save you at the end of the day. Trust me.
It will, because people don't see the,
Oh yeah.
individually, people don't see these letters coming from the IRS. I
Mm-hmm.
seen a letter from the IRS. They asked for the client's QuickBooks account.
Mm-hmm.
They literally wanted the client's QuickBooks account.
Mm-hmm.
And this person did not use QuickBooks. So you know what happened? They had to hire a lawyer that cost more money because they didn't have, listen, they didn't have the accountant. They didn't have the controls, we would call it, from an audit standpoint, to prove these expenses.
Mm-hmm.
And so they literally had to hire the attorney because they were trying to reduce their tax debt because they owed so much money. Now, if they had used an accountant, if they had used QuickBooks with their accountant, they could have saved over $30,000 in this tax bill. But because they didn't, their tax bill was about approximately 30,000 even after they used the attorney. The attorney brought it down from like 50 down to like 20 but or 30, but imagine they still had to pay the attorney. So, when I have these conversations with people, it's like, was it worth it? And it's literally
Mm-hmm.
like better to have things up front. Now, I don't remember the exact cost of QuickBooks, but I'll tell you that I think QuickBooks is well worth the price. Right, Mel?
Oh, absolutely. Now, it's funny you mentioned that. Would you rather pay? You have the monthly ongoing subscription, depending on the level of service you get, whether it's on the low end or the higher end, based on your business needs. But the thing is that, would you rather pay the QuickBooks subscription with an accountant for maybe $200 a month, $2,400 a year, to keep all your things in order, and it's tax deductible? That's the thing. Is you're not
Right.
getting something for absolutely nothing. You are writing that stuff off. So the thing is that, would you rather pay $2,000 for the year to have fully supported books, records, and everything, or a $13,000 tax bill plus interest and penalties? And if you're battling with the IRS on that balance, or you're getting audited, then it goes according to what you said about paying an attorney. You just paid almost $30,000 over $2,000 that you could have paid up front. Got to weigh the pros and cons,
And I'm gonna bring Cameron on. Cameron, she is fresh out of high school now, over 2 years. But Cameron, compared to, the thing is, a lot of us didn't learn this when we were kids, right? We didn't learn a lot of this information when we were young. I think it's very powerful and very noteworthy that you are a young person under the age of 25. I'm not going to tell your age, but you're under 25 learning this right now. Every company, I told my son this, he's 14 years old. Every company needs an accountant. Every company needs an accountant. Every company needs a strategist to help them to save money in taxes. When you look at it from a standpoint, I graduated from high school, I'm in this professional work environment, I'm seeing real business owners have revenue and have expenses. What does that look like to you, being a young person and aspiring to have maybe your own business?
Oh, well, actually, like helps me to see like a glimpse of like how the adult world is, because coming out of high school, you usually during school you usually depend on your parents. So then
Right.
after you graduate high school, then that's when like real life starts to kick in. So it's like you want to kind of
Yeah.
prepare for that well in advance, and
Mhm.
that was something I wanted to do as soon as I graduated high school. And
Okay.
yeah, it's interesting to see how, like, to see what's involved in it, and you can like help other young people to do the same. Like, hey, like once you graduate, you gotta do a little bit of something, because it's gonna start getting real quick. So
Mhm. Oh yeah.
so
That's so true.
yeah.
Now, Cameron, because you are still young, if you were to pick an industry that you really want to focus on working in, based on even our clients and what they do, you see the revenue coming in, you see, what we do. Would you particularly choose or what industry would you choose to work in? Like, what kind of products or what kind of services would you sell if you were a business owner? If you say, Donald, I'm interested in going in business, what would that look like for you?
Well, for me, since I've been younger, I've always was interested in cosmetology, particularly like hair styling. So I will probably go towards that, because that's what I'm normally interested in. And as of recently, I've gotten into like nails, so probably like the whole field of cosmetology, I would probably want to involve myself in. And usually just anything that's dealing with numbers, because all throughout school, my favorite subject was always math. So dealing with numbers has always been my favorite thing.
Well, you know what? You and my wife right there together. My wife is like a mathematician. I don't know how she does it. I'm like, hold on, let me get my calculator out. I need to make sure I pull the calculator out. But she can tell you in seconds
Mhm.
something equals. I'm like, how'd you get that so fast? Um,
Mhm.
but that goes back into her education of understanding math facts, which apparently I missed. I don't know how I missed that subject in math, but I'm an accountant, which is funny. That just
Mhm.
you don't have to be an expert in math. All you just need to be an expert at calculating on a calculator. That's what it comes down to. But thank you so much, Cameron, for that. I think that that's so important, and the fact that you are young, that just says a lot that you're learning this right now. A lot of times people don't get these or get this knowledge until they, are in their older ages, and I'm a witness to that. And where I was, young in my early 30s or younger than, well, late 20s, early 30s, I didn't get it at that point. I would tell you this, based on, like, we're going to be sharing some great fundamentals with our clients and helping them understand different things of how to save tax money. If I knew this stuff that I now, if I knew it then when I was in my early 20s, oh my God, my life would look so different.
Mhm.
So with these young people, every single one of you, with you're going to learn things that is like, wow, I can start like this and save money, and that's very powerful. And my wife just said math is my favorite. Yes, math is her favorite. But yeah, it's very powerful to understand how to build. And we're going to get into this topic, an estate, like do estate planning, because when we talk about building an estate, it looks different than just doing your taxes or doing your bookkeeping. It looks different. And we're going to get into a lot of that discussion. So you all that's on here, all of our clients, guests, whoever's on here, you're going to get some really solid information and inspiration to set things up. People are talking about Chad Boswick. Have you seen that in the news about what happened with Chad Boswick, his assets? I don't know if Mel, did you see that?
No, not recently. You mean Chadwick Boseman you're talking about?
Yeah, Chadwick Boseman. Apparently, his assets were not even given to the family or something. It's something in the news
Oh
about
gosh.
that. Right.
That's
So
terrible.
I was just talking to someone just now about that, and they said, "Man, this is a great timing because I need to know this
Mhm.
stuff. A lot of things that happens, that we don't know about. It causes us, really some challenges later on in life just because we didn't get it. So one thing
Right.
important about our clients, those that are tuning in here, you're going to get information that's going to really help you to complete your tax your estate portfolio. We have experts that we're working with that will share this knowledge. But just to give you a little bit of information about it, Melson, you've been tapping into some great information about estate planning.
Mm-hmm.
There are some tax benefits to estate planning. If we looked at it from a tax perspective, give me at least one benefit of having your estate set up properly.
Keeps the government from coming after your stuff.
Absolutely.
The thing is that it is a tax shelter. When you talk about estates or trusts, the thing is that whatever you put into a trust, it's almost like it's a contractual relationship. Whatever you put into a trust, you literally transfer ownership out of your hands into the hands of the trust. The trust is literally like another living, breathing human being. So
Absolutely.
The thing is that because you have transferred ownership into the trust now owns the asset, and the trust is administered over by a trustee. They act in the best interest of the estate or the trust.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we're going to get into some great discussions, because when you have a trust set up and you have your house owned by the trust, now I'm gonna give you some secret information here. It's not secret, but literally, like, people don't talk about this. When you have your trust set up that it owns your personal residence, you can write off your personal residence as a business expense, because your personal residence is technically a liability.
Oh yeah.
Many are fooled to think that our personal residence is an asset, and that is not true. Our personal residence is a liability when it's under our personal name. It becomes an asset when we move it under a business name. So we have experts that's going to talk about that, that's going to come on, that's going to help us really get this under control and allow us the opportunity to set it up properly. And we're about to close out soon, but I want to make sure if anybody have any questions that's on our channel, if you have any questions, please feel free to drop any questions there. But that's something that we're going to be talking about, estate planning, and helping you to realize the benefits of having an estate. And I can get into some other topics, like, for example, having the benefits of where your tax benefits come in. I'll give you an example. The IRS released some updated information. So, Mel, we're going to talk about some updated information out there. But the IRS increased the tax deduction or the expense for mileage for business owners. Why? Because gas prices are up. So I tell all of my clients that have a business, I would not be focused on the gas prices, even though I hate paying $100 to fill up the tank.
Yes, Lord.
Literally, it's a shift in money. You're shifting money from going to the IRS or going to your state to going into your tank. So it's like, well, they're just reducing my tax debt, right? So as they increase the expense of gas price or mileage, for mileage, then that means that you're getting a bigger savings while gas prices are up. Does this work for somebody that's a W-2? If you're only a W-2, no. But if you have a side hustle, a side gig or something, you can take advantage of this tax deduction. Mel, what else is out there that people should know about?
I know for a lot of the business owners that have employees, okay, you have the employee retention credit. This was one of the
hold on. If anybody have an employee, meaning a W-2, if you are a business owner and you have a W-2 employee, even if it's yourself, because we're going to get into S corps as well. But if you have an employee, this is for you. Drop a 1 if you are an employer and you have W-2 employees. Just drop a 1 into the chat here, or some kind of thumbs up to let us know that you have employees. So, Mel, go ahead and finish your statement about the IRS, this update about employees.
Yes, it's called the employee retention credit. So basically, it's a COVID-related credit. It was enacted with the CARES Act and subsequent legislation that was enacted. This is for 2020 and 2021. So anyone it's basically a credit given to employers who kept their employees on the books during COVID. Okay. The credit is for up to 50% of the payroll taxes that were paid. So keep in mind, employers, you're responsible for the employees portion that comes out their paycheck, 50%, and then you as the employer pay the other 50%, you can get a credit for up to the 50% you paid as the employer. So what happens is that for most of you that do payroll, if you use a payroll service, ADP, Gusto, Paychecks, QuickBooks Payroll, they are filing the Form 941 payroll tax return every quarter on your behalf. What happens is you just want to make sure you're checking with your payroll service to ensure that they have filed the amended Form 941 so you can recapture those taxes for the employer portion that was paid. So for some that may have had, that have significant payroll, that could be a nice little several thousands or tens of thousands of dollars of credit that you can get back in a refund. But you have to file the amended 941.
Absolutely. Mel, this is some great information. Now,
Oh, yeah.
Girlology, you mentioned, do we have a crash course or, to understand the terms and what they mean and things like that? We have a course that's being launched as we speak. But also tune into this channel because we're going to offer more high level and giving some content here as well to help all of you understand what are some of the things that you can take advantage of. But anytime you want to set up a consultation, we definitely have ways that you can get in touch with us and we can sit down and really help navigate that for you or with you. And Joey White would definitely be available to reach out to you. So if you want to send her a message or get her information, please let us know and we'll make that happen. And with business owners, if you do have employees, that means that you're paying your employees taxes, their federal income tax, their state income tax, Social Security, Medicare. You paying that on their behalf, but you also paying your portion of that. That is very important. That's a difference between a contractor and an employee. Now I'll give you this information. Really, a lot of you probably wonder, what does Butler Square offer? And some of our clients can tell you right off the bat that what we do is we provide these services to our clients. However, when you sit with me, you're sitting with someone that's going to help you strategize, that's going to help you to put things into perspective. When you sit with Mel, you're going to sit with someone to help you strategize. Because the thing is, most times people are trying to figure out how to make money in their business. Where do I get started? What kind of business ideas do I have? Because when you have a business, what is it that you have to create? Just like you go on a job, they have a system. They have a system. And the minute you walk in the door, they're going to tell you, oh, you need to use Microsoft, Excel for this particular thing, process that we have in place. You need to use Microsoft email, Outlook. You have to get familiar with PeopleSoft or Oracle Financials, all these different systems. Same thing when you have a business. Guess what? When I started my business, I didn't know what software to have or what system to have. I was like, I'm starting from scratch. Like, where do I go? I don't have the money to pay for Oracle Financials. I mean, QuickBooks out there. Let me try QuickBooks. So there are systems out there that are available for small business owners. So you know what that becomes? It becomes an exchange of knowledge, and it's an exchange of information. And it becomes a creative thought or a creative meeting where we're understanding what are you trying to get done and how do you enter into a new market. And thank you so much, Donnell, for that comment. We really appreciate you. And he's a great client as well. And that's the big thing. It's like, how do I get out here and do it? Help clients. Listen, there were meetings that we had with clients and they took the idea and they ran with it. And now they're making way beyond six figures in their business. I've helped the client. Technically, he was paying over $100,000 in taxes a year. When I sat with him with one meeting, we saved him over $70,000 of that tax bill. And he says, you know what? You're definitely worth it. Because some people are afraid to do your taxes and they're afraid to include your expenses. But you have someone that is okay with saying, you know what, as long as you have supporting documentation, I'm working with you. You're my client. I can support you. So then I don't mind signing your tax form. Somebody said, well, how much are your services? I said, the problem is most people don't understand the value of our service, because when your name, and that's Mel that's doing taxes, that's Rachel that's doing taxes, when our name is on your tax file, guess what? That is worth thousands of dollars alone. There are tax professionals that lose their licenses because of they're trying to make their clients happy. but we're doing things with integrity. We do it with, assurance that we're going to provide you with the best service possible, but also that we have confidence in what we're signing. And so that is worth thousands of dollars. And so if I say, no, we can't include that, trust me, we can't include it. But if I say we can, because we went through this process, we're okay with it. I'm not H&R Block right now. I'm not H&R Block. I'm not tax free, whatever, USA. I don't know what these terms.
Crooks.
Listen, I've had enough clients come to me telling me problems that they had.
Oh gosh, crooks.
Many times you working with someone, I try to put my email and the company address in the chat. It doesn't seem to post. So the thing is, whenever we work with clients, the thing is you're getting someone that's not about, let me take this and just push it through. I'll give you an example, and this is too much to talk about right now, but I'll give you an example. Some people are in real estate investing. And Mel, I know you've seen it.
What's this?
People are doing real estate investing, and some of them don't even know they're doing real estate investing. So you know what happens? They miss out on what? Depreciation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Most people that I talk to, because their original tax person didn't even talk about depreciation. They didn't even take depreciation on their real estate investing.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, they're missing out on deductions that the IRS gives you because perhaps you came to them and you didn't have that information. But what we do is we work with our clients to make sure that they understand that depreciation is something you can take advantage of.
Oh yeah.
You a lot of money. And but it takes time, so we're going to get into some great topics. So I tell you, we're doing this twice a month right now. If the demand says, once every week, then we may, increase it, but twice a month at least to share this knowledge. There's always updates coming out. So we want to make sure we provide content for you to understand what your options are. Malcolm, what's up, brother? I see you here. And so we have talked about things like this as far as, dealing with depreciation. How do we take advantage of depreciation? So it's very powerful. It's a very powerful discussion that we have, and we want to provide the best service to you all. Are there any other questions out there? Mel, would you like to share something? Naisha, would you like to share anything for our clients? This is the time to do it.
I got something real quick. No, just lending the importance of having a trusted advisor on your team. When you're in business, part of doing business is counting up the cost of who you're going to need on your team to properly strategize and move to the next level. You are looking, as a business owner, you're looking to grow your business. You're not looking to be a small business forever. That doesn't make sense. You're looking to grow. So as you grow, you will have to delegate responsibilities. Sometimes, depending on the volume of your business, like Donald said earlier, you're not going to be doing everything. You can't do everything. You're like an octopus stretched in 19 different directions. You're not efficient. So there comes time where you have to delegate some responsibilities. And it is worth the investment to have a trusted advisor on your team. I'd rather pay the $2,000 out my pocket or hey, work out an arrangement with your advisor. Donald's a very savvy businessman, and he's always looking to make sure that he can keep the client satisfied. So there's always something that can be worked out, and you pay off in the long run.
Absolutely. Any final thoughts, Rachel?
I guess I would just kind of like piggyback on what Mel said and basically let clients know that it is essential that you have an accountant and an attorney, but definitely an accountant to help you, ensure that you claim the tax deductions correctly, to reduce your taxable income, and then let you know how much tax you need to pay, because the goal is to save you money and to keep you out of trouble. So we are here as a lifeguard, as a support system to ensure success and to ensure that you're, everything's in order in terms of liabilities and expenses and everything that you need. So we're here to help you, part of the family.
Absolutely. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Final thoughts, Naisha, what you think?
I love the roundtable today. It was a lot of information, even for me to learn, not just the clients. So Awesome.
Awesome. Thank you. Cameron, last final thoughts from you.
Yeah, same. I enjoyed this session right now, and yeah, my only advice I would give, especially to people who are around my age, to start now. With the whole accounting and your finances, if you plan on starting your own business, and even if you're older than me, never too late. You can start right now, so once you get more older, once you get older, you'll be able to, make sure you're getting things right now since you weren't able to do it before then. So that's all I really have to say.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ray. Thank you, Cameron, Rachel, Mel, and Aisha. This has been a wonderful roundtable discussion. And I appreciate each one of you. All of you are leaders, and that's the key. We are all leaders. And so with this roundtable discussion, it's like if you never sat in the boardroom, this is a boardroom that we have visitors come in and watch us interact, ask questions, and everything. So this is our virtual boardroom. So welcome to all of our clients. Welcome to all the viewers here. And we're looking forward to offering more insight into what we do and helping you to strategize even better. So thank you all so much for joining. And I'll say this, I'll leave you all with this. Basically, we're here to support you. We're here to provide services to you. If there's anything that you need from us, we gave you our information. You can reach out to our office number, and it's here on the screen, and 443-222-1978, and we're ready to answer your calls. We have systems in place to make sure you stay in touch with your accountant. One thing that's important that I found out through many of our clients is that they found it hard to work with their accountant. They found it hard to meet with their accountant. I think that we have a system in place that we want to make sure that we're accessible to you in some kind of way. And so our clients get access to a back office. They're still getting used to it. Some of them use it where they can chat with our team members, and one of our team members will answer their questions. We'll get back to them until at least somebody can answer their question, or perhaps provide an answer right away. But the main thing is that they can touch base with someone at all times. And I think that's very important. Now, of course, if I get a message in the middle of the night, I can't respond. I'm not going to respond to a middle of the night message. However, it's there, and we're going to respond back to you at a reasonable time. But I hope that this was very helpful to you. So the next one, like I said, you don't want to miss it. We're going to talk about estate planning as long as my guest is able to join us. So I'm in the works of working that out right now. This is going to be an amazing discovery of information, because we don't want what happened to Chadwick Boswick to happen to you. And we want to make sure that you have things set up properly to build wealth. So this is really going to be a huge tax savings, a huge knowledge sharing, and we want you to get the value out of learning it from Butler Square Consulting. So with that, I will be in touch with all of you, and you all have a good rest of your day. Take care now.